Hi there, Sue Johnson here with another idea on an easy shawl that you can knit up that has a little bit of design to it. Looks like you went through a lot of work, but trust me, it is easy. Recently, I finished my crescent shaped shawl that I included the pattern for in my previous video submission, and I varied the pattern by adding some eyelet, but what I found is that it was very crescent shaped as opposed to being a V-shawl. For example, one end is a little bit larger than the other. So that's okay if you're going to put it on and wrap it up around your neck. Personally, I didn't find that there was enough shoulder coverage, which is one thing that I was after. And this is one skein of wool knit up, and I felt like it really needed a little bit more. So what I did is I gathered some navy wool that I had, merino wool, which is very similar to what I was working with here. That was a merino wool. And I decided to crochet an edge around for a bit of design, and also to knit. I crochet and knit the edging so that I can extend the shoulder coverage of the shawl. So the pattern is easy to use and it's nice to work with. But after trying a few different shawl patterns, basically I just decided I'm going to stick with my V-shaped shawl because I can introduce eyelets or other knitting techniques that I want to create some effect. I start by casting on 3 stitches and I just knit that first row. Then I have a right side and a wrong side. So on the right side, that's the side you're always going to do your increases and eventually your decreases. The left side will always be a straight edge. I do manage to finish my objects, my works in progress. And in this case, it was my cotton top, which I knit with tencel yarn. Very easy to work with, lovely soft. It was easy to do the eyelet pattern. Well, relative easy. You have to pay attention to what you're doing so that you can get some consistency. And the uniqueness of this top was the way the shoulder is lined up and put together. One modification, I decided not to carry the eyelet pattern up into the yoke. In the beginning page of this video, I had said, well, I was introducing the I do what I want shawl. And I said that that works probably in knitting because it can be a very singular choice and decision as to what you knit, but it may not work in relationship. In fact, I would like to suggest that it usually doesn't work in relationship. You see, when you're in a relationship, you're in a partnership. And you can't have one partner galloping off in one direction and leaving your partner behind, or making decisions and just saying, I'm doing it, and that's all there is to it. You don't have a say. In relationship, it is a partnership. Things are negotiated, and I've always said that. Most things in relationship are negotiated, and you come to an agreement. Sometimes you may agree on something, and maybe one of you still doesn't like the idea, but you let it go. And that's the thing, that a great relationship at times, actually what I want to say is that we accept one another in terms of personality, and we give each other freedom to make choices and decisions, but we do negotiate it, especially the really serious stuff. A good, healthy relationship allows freedom for the other partner to be themselves, freedom to give expression to their thoughts and feelings and desires. And in that expression, then the negotiation comes, especially if you're deciding a major decision, for example, buying a house, buying a car. I used to have a rule of thumb, which was anything over, especially when you had kids, anything over $100, you should talk about it together. Any purchases you made. But there really should be a freedom to be who you are, and an acceptance in expressing yourself, and then negotiating. So in relationship, you can't go about saying, I do what I want. You can do that in crafts and knitting and singular decisions that really doesn't affect the partnership or the family. So that's something to think about. Well, if you decide to try either of these patterns, the one that I put in my previous video or this current one, let me know. And let me know how it turns out for you. I'd like to hear your comments. Bye for now.